All right, Lisa, we are live. And, it's kind of funny. You just saw the sausage being made. I thought we were live ahead of time. Gotta understand technology, right?
Right, right.
What a day. What a day for you, okay? We're going to dive right into this. For
Okay.
those people that don't know Lisa Hanson, you are probably the most hardened criminal of all the Midwestern region. A grandma, a mom,
Yep.
a business owner of multiple businesses, most famously the Interchange Bistro in Albert Lea. And you did something last December, and a lot of our audience probably knows about it, but Governor Walz shut down our economy for the second time. So, what did you do when he did that?
Oh my gosh. I looked at my husband and I said, there's no way I can survive. This business can survive if we shut down again. So we have two choices. We either close up, we shut down, we close up permanently, we're done, or we open fully. And Jake, I started thinking about, not that I hadn't before, but I started thinking about all those things, our rights, our liberties, our freedoms, our children, our grandchildren. This is America.
Yes.
What the heck is going on?
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
said, you know what? It would have been easier, a whole lot cheaper to shut our doors, close up permanently, and be done. But this came knocking at my door, and I tend to be a little bit of a fighter, just a little bit of a fighter. And I said, let's open up fully. This is it's completely illegal and awful, unlawful, and awful what the governor is doing to us. And when I say us, I mean all Minnesotans, business owners, et cetera, et cetera. And we've got to stand up against this.
If you're watching this and you're not from Minnesota, Governor Walz, Tim Walz, decided unilaterally to declare an emergency. He then has extended it for the last 412 days. And twice in that emergency, he has shut down our economy, said small businesses can't operate, went after restaurants and bars, gyms. Meanwhile, down the street, Target and Walmart were fully open. Now, in the case of Albert Lea, 20 minutes south of Lisa, Iowa's open during this period of time, right?
That's right.
All right, let's fast forward here. We're gonna dance around a little bit. My wife hates these kind of movies, the ones that go all over the place. That's okay, because I wanna fast forward to the meat and potatoes of what happened today, because it's the first time this has happened in Minnesota. I think this has happened in New Jersey and New York already, but this first time this happened in Minnesota. You ended up in handcuffs today.
I did.
How did we get there?
Oh, okay. So there's been an active warrant for my arrest since March 10th. Let me rephrase that. An active invalid warrant for my arrest. Super important. And since then, the county of Freeborn has been looking for me. And today they found me.
They found you in Clear Lake, Iowa, right?
Beautiful, lovely Clear Lake, Iowa.
All right.
On the beach. On the beach, actually.
The beach, yeah, I saw your video. You shared it with me.
Yeah, yeah.
So a couple local cops handcuffed you. They
Yep.
seemed actually very nice.
They were very nice.
If
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest, I bet they went home to their spouse tonight and said, "I can't believe we arrested this woman for this crap." Right?
Absolutely. I don't know if they have spouses or not, but yeah, if they have spouses, they went home, and I could tell they weren't happy about what they were doing today.
Right. Okay. So, and because you're a real hardened criminal, I mean, geez,
So hard.
good thing you're off the streets today, Lisa.
Absolutely.
Actually,
the world is safe now. America is now safe that I'm off the streets.
I was just mentioning to someone today how, do you remember back in like April, like a year ago, they were arresting people on the beach, that infamous guy that was wakeboarding?
Oh, yeah.
You just, isn't it funny? You actually got arrested on the beach.
On the beach.
And,
apparently things happen on the beach.
And small world, right? Where basically I grew up swimming every 4th of July because my grandparents or great grandparents had property right there in Clear Lake.
Yeah.
Okay. So they arrest you on the beach. They end up bringing you back to the police department. What happened?
Well, before they brought me back to the police department, actually, we had a really long conversation with the two officers, and because I had some questions, and one of my questions was, and I think this is really important for Minnesotans to know, said, how did you guys how did you know I was here walking on the beach? And they said, well, we were informed. And I said, really? So what, you have spies? And they said, well, we were informed. And I said, so you have an informant? And they said, yeah. And I said, well, who is it? Albert Lea Police Department informed us. I said, yeah, I wasn't getting it right away. But what happened is Albert Lea Police Department issued informants in the area. I don't know how many, 1, 2, maybe, I have no idea. They've been here for how long and looking for me because I am such a dangerous criminal. How much is that costing the Freeborn County? How much does that cost the people of Freeborn County? How much is that costing the state of Minnesota?
Right. You were sharing a story with me about an event that happened, I think it was yesterday. Talk about that.
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
We had a really interesting, crazy thing happen that, you read about in books or see on a movie. But it was about maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon. My husband and I were at our location working, because that's what we do every day. We work on these cases every day, or at least I do. So a gentleman comes to the door, and he knocks on the door, and I go to the door and answer. And he asked me, "Are you Lisa Hanson?" And these days I kind of take a half step back before I answer. I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, to quote him, he said, "Don't leave. There's 2 officers down the road, or two patrol cars," whatever he said there, officers down the road. And that was all he had to say. And I think I said thank you. I hope I said thank you to him. He walked away, and we have no idea who he was. We've never seen him before in our lives. How did he know we were here? So that's
so bizarre to me, right?
So bizarre. Yeah.
I mean, like, what's your read on that?
Right. Well,
like was this a guy trying to confirm? Like, I'm just puzzled by it.
Yeah, we're puzzled as well. We don't really know.
If you told me that story, I would have said you're crazy. Like, come on, really?
I know.
Although then this is the government, but the fact that then you get arrested 2 days later, it's like, wow.
Yeah, I still have a visual of what he looks like, so maybe. So I don't know if he was warning me, so I didn't come out and get that. That was my thought, was he was saying just stay where you're at. If you come out, you get on public property, then they're gonna arrest you. But so who knows?
Wow. Now this is 2 days before a big event in Albert Lea, so I don't want to underwhelm or to not put this in perspective here, because the man behind the curtains, Vern, was mentioned this before.
Right.
Vern's your husband.
Yes, he is.
I was teasing because he wasn't on camera, but he was saying a bunch of things, and one of the this was a really good point. They're spending resources coming after you. You're on vacation, Clear Lake, Iowa. You've been there for many weeks. And meanwhile, you're doing a very public appearance in Albert Lea on Saturday, which I will be speaking at, along with Liberty champion Eric Mortensen. So everyone sees it. The media is starting to report on it. They're all trying to shame us, which doesn't bother me one bit. But they know you're going to be there. And yet they spend these resources going down to Iowa to arrest you, which you're not, I mean, there's no violent crime that's taken place. In fact, it's a misdemeanor, right? In fact, when you were originally supposed to be arrested, the sheriff didn't even want to pursue this, didn't want to arrest. It was under his belief that he did discretion on whether or not to arrest you for this, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you make of this? Like, they literally could have just waited till you were back in Minnesota.
Well, I think this is probably being driven by some people that are pretty upset with us because we're going, after our governor, Attorney General Keith Ellison, Jan Malcolm, Commissioner of MDH, and several other people, many, many other people. We have over 20 counterclaims and lawsuits against over 30 individuals in the state of Minnesota. And now, because there's been an illegal arrest, you know what we're going to have to do, Jake? We're going to have to file some more cases against some more people, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think somebody is absolutely trying to make an example out of a law-abiding citizen that's just trying to run her business, make an income, feed her family, whatever. And it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Our government is out of control, absolutely out of control. We've got a lot of bad players in the state of Minnesota. We need to do something about it.
Yeah, so to me, it's just utterly ridiculous that we have a legal system that would uphold the fact that one guy decreed that your business was shut down, and somehow that's legal, right? It's absolutely asinine. Now, I was watching your, well, it wasn't even your court appearance. It was really Sheriff Freitag. Is it Freitag or Freitag? How do you pronounce that? Freitag. So the county sheriff. And they were bringing him in for basically contempt of court, I think, because he had arrested you. And I'm watching this Zoom, and, Lisa is just one of many. You're only one of two Lisas. That's how many business owners we've been working with and talking with since back in December. And so I guess I wasn't as intimate with your case until I watched that court hearing. And all of a sudden, I'm watching this, and I go, this is unbelievable. Like, they really want this woman. And the judge who presided over this Zoom court session was wearing a mask.
Yes.
So you're supposed to get justice in Minnesota from someone who is all in on the mask cult, right? The COVID, I was going to say COVID cult, but there's the COVID cult, the grand COVID cult, but then there's the mask cult. They're like really crazy. Yeah. Like who are you affecting? You're in a Zoom session right now, and he's masked up. And I'm like, this is the person they're going to get justice from? This is insanity.
When we watched that Zoom hearing, I'll sum it up with this: that whole Zoom hearing. The day that it was conducted was April 1st. What is April 1st?
That's right.
Day.
Yeah.
It was absolutely perfectly fitting. April Fool. We thought it was an April Fool's joke. Oh, this is just a joke. These people aren't real. They're just on here being jokesters. Of course, it was the real deal. What an embarrassment. What an absolute embarrassment for the state of Minnesota, for Freeborn County. I mean, come on. What has happened to our judicial system?
It's insane. I can't believe what they are accepting in Minnesota. I mean, just over the border in Wisconsin, their courts seem a lot better. Their governor didn't get away with this from day one.
That's right. And, God bless them, and go Wisconsin. But no, what's happening here in Minnesota? It's a shame. It's a shame for the people of Minnesota.
Yes, absolutely. So, what they ended up getting you for was you didn't show up to a court hearing, a Zoom court hearing. Correct. Now, from what I believe, there was something that they didn't follow, and that's why you didn't show up. Tell us that story. Because, of course, the media's not going to do you any justice on this.
No, they're not. So we did, and I've been completely transparent about this all the way through. We did receive a Zoom hearing notice. I received a Zoom hearing notice. Gave me the credentials to get into the Zoom hearing, right? The password, all that, the time and the date. Okay, got that. Now I'm waiting for the summons and complaint. Minnesota Rules of Criminal Procedure. Rule number 3. Look it up. Google it. Super easy to understand. 3.01 and 3.02 tells us exactly how an individual is to be compelled into a court of law. How are they to be compelled into a court of law? With a summons and complaint. I have never, even to this day, the day that I was arrested, there was no summons and complaint on the docket. Anybody can look it up themselves. It's a public docket. There's no summons and complaint. I didn't receive it via email, via USPS, via I don't know what. Do they still use doves to bring?
Maybe. Well, that'd be good social distancing, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's
well,
right.
Well, can doves spread COVID? They're probably super spreaders.
Oh, we got to be careful with those doves. Yeah, super spreaders.
Vaccinate them. Come on, vaccinate them.
Like me, Martinez has accused me of being a super spreader in a court of law, and yet not one case has been traced back to
you. Tell people who Martinez is. This is interesting.
Oh, I love to say her name.
Yeah.
Kelly Dawn Martinez is the city attorney for Albert Lea. And that's another embarrassment for Albert Lea.
I'm confused. It seems like she's the one prosecuting this, right?
She is the prosecutor. She's prosecuting for the state.
So
she has some crazy vendetta against me.
Yeah, so she's prosecuting on behalf of the Minnesota Department of Health?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
so bizarre because everywhere else it's been the Attorney General's office.
Right. Well, I think she's got a connection with Attorney General's office as well. So
Yeah, most likely.
I don't know if she's trying to make a name for herself or what's going on there, but there's something going on that's not right. And you know, we've got some people in the city that have been telling the mayor and the city council to, hey, tell her to knock it off.
You don't care.
She's making a bad name for Albert Lea by what she's doing, and it needs to stop.
Yeah, she probably doesn't have a lot of friends, so this is her big day in the sun, I guess. What a loser. Yeah, it was really bizarre listening to the court hearing because she really seemed to have some animosity towards you. But what was really fascinating is Sheriff Freitag seemed to be on your side until there seemed to be an out. And then it was quick. They turned right against Lisa. All agreed, hey, as long as she's arrested in the next 2 weeks, we're good. Nothing's going to happen to Sheriff Freitag. Now, before that, the county attorney, who seemed to be pretty wise and pretty smart, was making a great argument that the Chief Justice of is it the 3rd District down there?
Yes.
That literally said sheriffs have discretion when pursuing warrants for misdemeanors, which is what you were there. Now, first of all, it seems ridiculous that you had a misdemeanor because it seems like you were following the law. They weren't. Okay, so you really weren't in contempt of court. So they're not following the law there. But you got to remember what this thing's all about because all these little soy boy haters like this Michael Broadcorp who tweeted out, I think I shared that with you. What a loser. Yeah. The reason you're in this predicament, get ready for this, folks. Lisa Hanson opened up her coffee shop. Can you believe that? How dare she? How dare she? A real hardened criminal. So today on the shores of Clear Lake, we took another hard criminal off the street right there. Let's fast forward again to today. They bring you back to the police department. Take your mug shot. $20 reward to the first person that can get that to me.
Awesome. Wait, Vern, get on that.
Yeah. They didn't. Yeah. You should auction it off.
Yeah.
They didn't put you in an orange jumpsuit. They're saving that for Larvita. I keep teasing her about that.
Oh, she's gonna look so much better in orange than
Oh yeah, she will. So how long did it last? Tell us about that.
I was about 2 hours. So from the time they put the before when they put their, I guess, yeah, it was from the time they handcuffed me till the time I was released. It was about 2 hours. And
then you're supposed to be extradited back to Minnesota, but you're free. You paid bond. So how does, from your understanding, because I'm a little confused in this, how's it? Yeah, okay. I guess I'm not going to get a good answer here, but what do you understand at this point?
You know, I'm not familiar with how extradition works, and so that was kind of a new thing for me, and I probably should have, at least studied a little bit on that before before this happened, but it is what it is. So, my understanding is if I didn't bail out or bond out today, that very possibly I could have been held, incarcerated, whatever you want to call it, for up to 3 months because of the extradition process.
Jeez.
And so we bonded out, bailed out today. They did book me. They did take my mug shot. So, I have this document that I carry with me everywhere I go. It's a notice to any officer in contemplation of my arrest. So anybody involved in my illegal arrest today is going to actually be included in an action of law, which is really sad to me. Because honestly, the law enforcement down here in Cerro Gordo County is actually, I was treated really nicely. They were very kind to me. Problem is they don't know the law. They're not following the Constitution. They've taken an oath, but yet, so there should have been no arrest today. And we explained this to them, and they were gracious to listen, and they wanted to know. But here's the deal: is law enforcement need to educate themselves, and you guys better get your education now. You better start educating yourself now to the Constitution, the very oath you swore to, and also common law. You need to learn what the oath that you swore to protect the people. So Lisa Hanson, there was an invalid warrant because there was no summons, And so therefore the arrest today was illegal, and somebody has got to pay for that.
Yeah, it's very fascinating. We never get away with not following the process. You know, there's an old saying that every American citizen can at least is guilty of 2 felonies a day, basically, right?
Yeah.
So it's just pick and choose, you know, what they're going to get you for. And it's just like we all have to follow the rules, but they don't, right? It's insane.
Right.
And we've known this about.
Here's the thing that I've been seeing, Jake, and so I knew nothing. I came into this very ignorant as far as how this judicial system works. I've never been involved. I've never, been in trouble with anybody before. What I've seen, as our eyes have been opened, is that there is so much corruption, and these guys are making the rules up as they go, literally. They're making the rules up, and they're not following their own rules. For instance, Minnesota Criminal Rules of Procedure, Rule 3, they're not following that. Nobody cared. I mean, we documented all of this. We filed onto the court to let them know, hey, guys, you missed something. Somebody needs to get this right. Nobody cared. The judge knows. Judge Butel knows. Prosecutor, attorney Don Martinez knows. The Sheriff Freitag is aware of it. And J.D. Carlson, chief of police, have had conversations with all of them, emails, et cetera, and nobody wants to do what's right.
Well, I mean, just think about it. The grand whole part of this thing is the fact that we have one man creating rules. So if you're an officer, what law are you following, right?
Exactly.
And what's fascinating is it's taken this long, and this is something to be said about law enforcement in Minnesota. And I'm not surprised by this because they've seen the Democrats not have their back, right? So I'm pretty certain that they're like, we're not going to prosecute this. Their sheriffs, like Anoka County Sheriff Stewart, has just said, I'm not going to go after mask policy and stuff like that. So they know who doesn't have their back, and I don't think they're following it. But it's just so interesting, like how courts, the Attorney General's office, can literally go with a straight face prosecuting something that's clearly not a law. Because laws, I mean, this might come as a surprise to you guys. It's kind of this pesky little constitution we got. It says only one way laws happen, and that's by the legislature passing it. That never happened here.
No, it didn't. In fact, in 2005, we know that the Minnesota legislature passed a law which changed the conditions on which the governor could declare an emergency. They removed public health emergency from the law. So the governor cannot, by law, declare an emergency based on public health emergency. So his order was unlawful, is unlawful, and a nullity from the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. The other thing about emergency powers is that there's like 2 standards, and there also has to be that county resources aren't sufficient. It's utterly ridiculous. And for those people that are watching that aren't intimate with what's going on in Minnesota, we have unilateral emergency powers. One guy creates it. The only way he loses it is if both bodies, the House and Senate, take it away. We have a Senate that's Republican-led, and we have a House that's led by Democrats. 6 Democrats voted to remove emergency powers last year. We only needed 4 when the new legislature took place, and all those con artists flip-flopped on their vote, and they have indefinitely given him this power. Now, we have a solution for this. Action for Liberty's got something called the Never Again Bill. Now, what Never Again Bill does, and I'll be talking about this on Saturday, the Never Again Bill would make sure what just happened to Lisa never happens again. The governor would not have unilateral emergency powers. Only the legislature could grant an emergency, and it would be 2/3 of the legislature. So in other words, it can't be political, right? It would have to be like, well, this is a real emergency. Republicans and Democrats agree. It says that his orders under an emergency aren't treated as laws. All right, so the courts can't interpret the way that they did for you. Number 3, it says the only person fined for not following the emergency powers is the governor and government agents, not you. Okay? And last but not least, it has a Bill of Rights and it says you can earn income and operate a business. So we're at a point where we got 2 weeks left of the legislative session. We're gonna get into this, Lisa, because I don't pull punches here. Okay?
No, you don't.
We got 2 weeks left in the legislative session. There's a massive budget right now that Republicans and Democrats have to agree on. Otherwise, there's going to be a partial government shutdown come July 1st. Republicans have one negotiating chip left, and that is to not give Governor Walz his budget until his emergency powers are gone and the Never Again bill is passed. If they affirm his budget, we're done. Because then they adjourn, sine die, they're done for the legislative session, and the governor will go into the summer with endless emergency powers. And this will ensure that this stuff continues on. So it's all up to the Republicans to hold the line, because they can't pass the budget unless the Republicans are on board to do this. And I want to stress this, I think it's so important, because a lot of times people think, oh, well, the Democrats are the bad ones, the Republicans are okay. It's not always that easy, okay? Democrats are definitely bad here. But it's not always that easy. So on Saturday, we've got a really interesting event. It's at, what's the park in Albert Lea?
It's the Fountain Lake Gazebo.
Fountain Lake Gazebo, okay, at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. Come
down and listen to everyone speak. We thought Lisa was going to be arrested there. Apparently it happened sooner. All right?
Sorry.
Our good friend, Representative Eric Mortensen, will be there speaking. Mark Coran, the author of the Never Again bill in the Senate. So it's actually Representative Eric Mortensen's bill. And Mark Coran is carrying the Senate version. Just got a new co-author yesterday, it was. Rich Drahim. I think I pronounced it right. Drahim. I'm bad at names. So we're getting some momentum on it. But you just told me that there's been a cancellation on Saturday. So Peggy Bennett was supposed to speak. Representative Peggy Bennett from the Albert Lea area has now declined to come and stand with you.
Yeah.
I don't pull punches. I know you guys have gone back, and you guys were friends back in the day. But, listen, folks, what Lisa has done is very courageous. We need to stand up for this. Like, at what point, if you don't stand up for this, like, at what point are you going to stand up? They tell you to put a mask on, and everyone puts a mask on. I'm sure you and I haven't, but you know what I'm saying? They tell you to stick a needle in your arm. And people just say, oh, okay, I'm not going to look at the science. I'm not going to do research. Stick a needle in my arm. They are controlling you, right? You got to stand up. We're losing this country. We're losing Minnesota. We have got to stand up. And it's unbelievable that we have politicians chickening out on Saturday. And that's why I'm so happy to come down there. Rain or shine. Although apparently it's going to be a lot of shine. It's going to be like 80 degrees.
Yeah. It's going to be great. Hey, now we can arrive. We were trying to figure out how we're going to get there without being arrested on the way to the park. And from immediately getting out, because, J.D. Carlson, Chief of Police of Albert Lea, actually, we had a conversation a while back, and he said, if you're not arrested by then, we'll probably arrest you over there and take you down, and, you can pay bail and head back to your event afterwards. Well, I don't think they wanted to do any kind of arrest there. That gives way too much negative publicity for the Albert Lea Police Department, which would, have been appropriate. So we're gonna give them plenty of negative publicity anyway. Sorry, guys, but anyway, the law is law.
2 o'clock on Saturday. 2 o'clock on Saturday.
Now, so now I'm thinking, Jake, instead of coming, kind of incognito or trying to get in before, so that we can be arrested and let everybody see what that looks like, maybe I can ride my Harley now.
Yeah, I think we need to put you in the back of that. Put you in the paddy wagon. Let's put you in the paddy wagon. Put some cuffs on.
I'm going to ride my Harley.
Vern's like, that's kind of kinky.
He's laughing in the background.
The man behind the curtain. All right, let me read some comments here. Keith Haskell says, Free Bird! Brad Ganser, hardcore crime. Brad, you would know. That's an inside joke. Funny story. Brad's a good guy, by the way. Inside joke. Debbie writes, Walz needs to be in the orange suit. Free this patriot. I'm wondering if there's any questions in there. Elena, keep fighting, Lisa. I admire you, and thank you, Jake, for keeping up the fight and for keeping us up to date. Oh, yeah, this is a good point by Brad Ganser. Release riders who try and kill cops and then lock up restaurant owners. The real criminals are in St. Paul. Why don't you opine on that?
Say that again?
I said, why don't you opine on that? What do you think about this? Like, we're letting out hardened criminals these days, and you are the one that's getting arrested.
What do you even say about that? How do you even explain that? Absolutely ludicrous. It doesn't make any sense. There's no words.
That's right. Gerald Ramsey says Albert Lea May 1st. Looks like he'll be there. I needed someone else reading all this stuff. Sherry, I see you said something about Carly Martinez should be charged for falsely having a panic button be pushed, which is for emergencies. All right, this was a really bad idea. I can't scroll through all this stuff. Lesson learned for the future. Brad likes my joke. All right. I didn't plan this one accordingly. I should have had... Thank you guys for all the comments and stuff. I should have been monitoring this a little bit. I had my laptop down here, so unfortunately I'm like this trying to read these things, and there's a lot. Well, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Lisa, Saturday, May 1st at the whatever gazebo in...
Fountain Lake Gazebo.
Fountain Lake Gazebo.
Yeah, if you go on to betheinterchange.com, remember, be the change. That's what we're doing, right? We're all going to be the change that this country needs, but it's Be the Interchange because that's the name of the company.com. Go on there. You can pull up a map, to go to the event and find it. It's at the north end of Broadway Avenue, Fountain Lake Gazebo. It's super easy to find. It's going to be a beautiful day. Come out, bring your friends, bring your family, and we will love to see all of you.
And I think you guys are having some raffles, and I think I saw shotguns being given away. Is that right?
Yeah, I think there's one. I'm not the organizer. There's a shotgun. I think we've got a brand new vacuum. We have a whole bunch of gift cards. There's so many prizes, and so it's going to be a great time. We've got a DJ out there that's going to be playing hopefully a whole bunch of patriotic music, right? And we've got some great speakers like the one I'm looking at right now. And
now, if I'm a speaker, can I still enter for that shotgun, or do I not get a chance at it?
I think you should have a chance.
Do I get a chance?
Yeah, I think it's okay.
I still got a Wisconsin turkey tag left in May.
Oh, there you go.
So there's still a need for a shotgun this spring already.
Yeah. Everybody wants the shotgun. So there's going to be food available. Also, the Legion just up the street, just a little ways, is going to open up and have some great, delicious, cheeseburgers and hamburgers available.
Awesome.
And it's going to be a great time. So come on out and see us and support.
Yes.
Let's get this movement going.
Yes, please do. And if you come out, and I haven't met you yet because I know a lot of people have seen my emails and haven't actually met me in person, come up, say your name, and I'd love to meet you in person finally. And Representative Eric Mortensen's going to be there as well, which I know a lot of you guys know of. And I can't wait. It's going to be 80 degrees and sunny, apparently. Well, it's 80 up in Lake Elmo. Maybe it's like 90 down in Albert Lea.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think it's supposed to be 80 or so, or maybe a little above 80. And, up to 4 o'clock.
Man behind the curtain. Okay.
Yeah, the man behind the curtain.
What do you have to say?
You can buy tickets for the raffle.
Up till 4?
Prizes. Up till 4 p.m. The drawing starts, or the raffle starts at 4 p.m.
All right, so you guys heard it. After 4 p.m., you can buy the raffle tickets.
Before 4
No,
p.m.
After. That way I ensure my shotgun won.
That's not fair.
What is the shotgun you're giving away? Do you know?
I don't
Putting you on the
even
spot.
know.
You know how you get a bunch of guys like me to come? You find 223 ammo, probably 300 blackout. That'd be really good. Some 9mm, and you give that away. That would get a lot of guys like me down there.
We should have forgotten the shotgun. We should have just, done a whole bunch of 9mm or something.
I'm telling you, if you get your hands on that, that's a good giveaway there.
It is.
Well, Lisa, it's good to see you tonight. I'm glad that you didn't spend the night in jail. I'm sure this was probably the most ridiculous day those cops and clearly had to deal with, and we're all safer because you're off the streets apparently. So, last word before Saturday. What do you want to say?
Yeah. Thanks, Jake. I mean, this has been a lot of fun with you. Kind of a the bright spot of my day compared to what it was before. The only thing I just would say is education, number one. You guys, everybody that's listening to this, get yourselves educated. Learn the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights. Learn common law. You guys, we've got to know this stuff to protect our rights and our freedoms. And the other thing that I want to say is don't think this isn't going to affect you. It already has affected each and every one of us. Maybe it hasn't come right to your doorstep, knocking on your door yet, but it will. Mark my words. Is this a mirror of Nazi Germany? Think if you could see into the future, and if you sit on your duff and don't do anything about this, You know, are you going to be kicking yourself? You are. I guarantee it. This republic needs to be saved, and it takes all of us. So get involved in however you can.
Well, I don't want to leave on that because the haters are going to use that line you just used against you, and I don't think you're equating the current situation to Nazi Germany. It would be ridiculous. But I agree with this point. Is that it not just Nazi Germany, but the Soviet Union, many other totalitarian states. It wasn't like day one they were bringing naked women out in the fields and shooting them in the head, right?
No.
That didn't happen on day one. It
No,
wasn't day
absolutely.
one they put people in cattle cars. It's a slow degradation of humanity and slow degradation of rights. It's also division too, right? Especially in these socialist countries, is to divide us amongst each other, and then basically you should hate one class of people, right? And right now, I'm kind of that class of people, right, that doesn't get liked too much. What have I done to anyone, right? But yeah, you can't be a white male these days, right? So that is the interesting point, is that we are slowly losing America, and the road that we're going down. I mean, you have to be ignorant and never read a history book to not see this, right? This is a very dangerous course, and that's why I think your fight, Lisa, is so damn important. You can't give these guys an inch, because if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Right. And that's how you end up in these terrible disasters like Nazi Germany or the Soviet Union. That's how we end up in that situation.
Yes. Great clarification. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I just know how politics work. They're going to make you...
Yeah, you do.
They're going to make you into a certain... Put you in a certain box. They're still going to do it, by the way. Now they're going to try to rope me into it, but that's okay. Come debate me, losers. I don't care. Politics is such an ugly sport, so... But that's why good people that are watching this, that believe in liberty, you guys need to get active, because we need better
Jake,
voices.
the other thing that we should say here real quick is, listen, we need to replace some folks, right? We need to replace some folks from the very local level. I'm talking city, like city council, city mayors, county sheriffs, and all the way up to the state level. Obviously, we need to replace a lot of seats. We need to get some constitutional, conservative, common law type of people in these seats that believe in what this country was founded upon and are willing to do what it takes to get this country back to where it needs to be. It's going to be a lot of work. So let's all be thinking about it. I mean, Jake, maybe you should run for sheriff or
sheriff. That's a new one.
People have told me, hey, Lisa, you should run for sheriff, or hey, Lisa, you should run for mayor, or whatever. But it's like, we've got to have people stepping up to the plate that are willing to stand strong for America.
Yes, I've got a feather in my cap. I'm the guy that recruited Representative Eric Mortensen, so I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job on the outside. But yes, I couldn't agree more. If you are a principled person who loves the Constitution and you think you could run for office, let us know, because I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to talk to you. We know how to make you successful. All right, very good. Good chatting with you, Lisa. Sleep well tonight. Luckily, you aren't going to be sleeping on the cot, so that's good.
I didn't get to sleep with my girlfriends over in Cerro Gordo jail tonight. Right. I'm missing them. I'm missing my girls, but I'd actually rather sleep with my husband.
That's right. All right, take care. We'll see you later. See you on Saturday.